And we are live, folks. Welcome back. Here we are. One last time, one last ride, one last rodeo, whatever you wanna call it. Here we are for the BRL Season 5 finale, and we are heading to the Brazilian Grand Prix. And well, surprise, surprise! In the comms box, we have good old Sarthak with us today. So, how's things with you, bro?
A bit disappointing. It ended up becoming a surprise. So I'm no longer regular. Hopefully that doesn't happen next season around. But isn't it fantastic that we aren't going to Abu Dhabi for the last race of the season? We're going to Brazil.
Well, that's
And
another surprise, I guess.
yeah, I'm pumped to see all these drivers give one last shot out on track. I think we've got quite a bit of these, quite a bit of rare comers, you could say. Not so often
17
getting to
drivers
see
in
them on
lobby.
track.
Yep.
Yeah, with the likes of Rusty Nish out on track. I see Gambler as well. He's been one of the more regular individuals. But yeah, we got Streeter, Andre, Cube, Rabi as well. And of course, the regulars, Big Man Joe, Wix356 comes back, Mr. Wex as well. Horning Guards, Baby Shumi. You can see all of them take to the tracks for qualifying. 18 minutes of short qualifying ahead of the 50% race distance race to wrap up Season 5 of the Bwoah Racing League.
Yep.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, indeed. And in the last race after Abu Dhabi, we have confirmation that the World Constructors Championship goes to Ferrari. If only that happens in real life, I think I'll just drop off my seat right now. But well done to Envy, to Harry Rocks, and also to Gambler, who occasionally steps up into that Ferrari seat in place of Envy or in place of Harry Rocks. And together the three of them have achieved what the real life Scuderia Ferrari could not achieve. And also congratulations to Envy, his first ever World Drivers Championship in the Bwoah Racing League. So there you go. Ferrari sealed the double championship, and this race, I heard that well, actually I kind of started the ball rolling with a challenge for Envy and for Derp, to start at the back of the grid and to not use soft tires. So you just use the two hardest tires. Just try to give the others a bit of a racing chance here. Let's see if the weather is on our side to go with the challenge. Maybe we get a wet Brazilian race, which is always nice to see.
Yeah, it's talking about the championship battle. Even KDB came close at one point in time. RB Ferrello seemed closer than ever for the first half of the season. Somewhere down the line, that went down the drain on his regard. Hopefully, we see a bunch of these drivers back for Season 6 of the Bwoah Racing League. But for today, it's the last race of Season 5, and I'm pumped to see all, I'd say in the ballpark of 15 drivers out on track. And yeah.
We have 17, Sarthak. There we go. Okay. And one more person, Drunken Monkey, has joined. That makes it 18 drivers in the lobby. So let's go. This is pretty close to a full lobby here. 18 drivers out on track. It feels like the season start, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. To wrap up a season like this, unfortunately, we don't have a full racing grid. But yeah, it was an entertaining season. Each race, however slow it might have started off, the last 5 laps was always gripping, wasn't it, Davin?
Speak of it, I think that's been a trend in our league for the entirety of this season, even from last season, if you remember. And I was just reminiscing some moments from the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in Season 4, where KDB and Danny, Big Man Joe, right? They had a battle on the last lap. They collided on the second back straight, and that handed Signic his first ever win in that race. And Signic couldn't stop banging about it on his win, but that man, he deserved it. I think the Mercedes team in game as well really stepped up this season. Well, I'd like to take a bit of credits for the setups, but setups one thing, but you have to really put in the work to make it work out on track. And Mercedes as well, they came very close, to challenging Ferrari for the Constructors Championship. Two equally good paced drivers. I think they have a good future together. Let's hope next season they can be together, or maybe we might see some shake up in the grid.
If we're talking about Signig and Baby Shumi, it's It's possible. If at the start of the season you asked me that question, I would have said highly unlikely, given that I expected Baby Shumi to Sicknick to keep it going, just like he did last season around. We haven't seen that. It does seem like both of them are equally balanced in some ways. So maybe we might just see with the right team principle, in-game team principle, they might just end up in the same team once again. But yeah, 18 drivers coming out on track soon enough. I think we've got Horning out on track.
Indeed, and Horning's the first one to go out. Looks like it's gonna be a fully dry qualifying, and everyone's out on track on the softs or mediums, and the usual UK on intermediates to set down some rubber on track. So thank you, good old UK, for 25 races. He's been laying down the rubber on the track on the first few minutes, and surely that helps everyone else as well.
Almost a ritual ever since the halfway point of last season, if my memory serves me right. So yeah, we got UK coming out. Hopefully we get to see him win one last race here at season 5. He gave it his all. I think he does finish in the top 5 of the drivers championship, so good job to him. And perhaps we get to see the old guard step up in the likes of Drunken Monkey, Vix 356 and Rusty Nish finishing higher up the order.
Indeed, and well, first you have to finish to score any points, and let's hope they keep it clean, because turn 1 in Brazil, as always, is going to be a contention point into lap 1, into every other lap. That's the biggest overtaking opportunity coming out of the, what you may call it, the second last corner on the track, but you know, it's pretty much the last real corner on it, where UK is passing by right now. So this is the last real corner. After that, it's flat out all the way down into turn 1, and the best overtaking opportunity comes right around this point onwards, where DRS is activated. Blast down the straight into turn 1. You can take the inner line, you can take the outer line into the braking zone, and well, the overtaking opportunities do not end there. And as you go into the center S's, you get a second detection zone right in the middle of the center S, and down the second straight you may re-overtake, and this is definitely going to serve some action today. Oh, and UK just had to be in the middle of the track there to let 2 drivers pass alongside him. There you go, and drivers are all blasting down the straight. Horning first to set his time, 108.8, and Kubarabi just tops it immediately with a 108.4, so times are coming in fast and quick. Fast and quick, they mean the same.
Yeah.
Well, I'm losing my words already.
You're going to lose your words one too many times perhaps in this race, especially as Streeter picks off the fastest lap. He's in the 1 minute 7 seconds range, if I can see that right.
Yep, 7.8. That's
yes,
faster now.
On
KDB crosses the line with a 8.5 as well.
Meanwhile, Andre is the first one to set a lap time on the mediums, 1 minute 9.547. I'd love to talk strategy with you, but before that, Davin, how do you like the track?
I like this track a lot. I like it a lot, and you know, I'm happy to watch this race as well today, because I have my own race coming up in Brazil next weekend. So I'd like to steal all the strats and possibilities from this, and let's see how it goes.
Yeah, so in a ton of events, usually it's them taking notes from you, and now it's you taking notes from them, perhaps. And I see Gauts is spun out in sector.
Oh yes, he lost it in looks like at the center S's, and let's ride on board with Drunken Monkey. No, with Big Man Joe, who's coming around into turn 2, and Gauts' car is gone. His tire is still there on track, so I think he might have just lost it on the entry to the center S's. Probably a collision, probably just spinning out. Well, good old Gauts. He will be starting P8 for now, but he might drop down the positions very, very soon. 107.6 by Signing, the lead time to beat for now.
Yeah. Interesting. So highly likely Gauts ends up in a position he actually enjoys starting from the back. You know, we have a bunch of these drivers in Bwoah Racing League now who likes the challenge of doing last to first challenge. So yeah, Signic fastest one out on track. I see Big Man Joe lap time 7th fastest. Prustinish 656 Dub, definitely not his best time. We'll see him up the order soon enough. And I'm actually on the edge of my seat to see how Envy and Hyrox 24 does out on track.
Yeah, pretty sure Envy is gonna start at the back. I'm sure Envy and Derp has accepted the challenge to start at the back and go on the harder tires for the race. That might explain why Derp
Interesting.
is setting a 115s in Brazil when he's expected to set a 107s or 106 even if he gets close to that. So lap time,
Yeah.
I'd say there's still good half a second to come if everyone nails a proper lap around here. 10 minutes to go. Let's see.
And I see in chat, Dub says he just wanted purple first and second. So interesting.
Yep.
But okay, we got a lap time on the board after all. Hyrox24, it's fastest on the board. Streeter's now second fast. Mr. Wex goes third fastest.
Interesting there. And all times on the soft so far. Andre the only one to set it on the mediums. Let's just see the best time that he set on. Yes, indeed, it is the medium tires. So good position to be starting. Sarthak, I think this is a good segue to the strategy talk you wanted to bring up earlier. And again, Brazil is quite an interesting track. Variety of strategies are possible, especially with the intervention of safety cars and VSC. Well, if there's none, that's always gonna be a simple one-stop. Medium to soft or soft to mediums is always the preferred choice around here. But as we all know,
So I think yeah, it's safe to say that's off the board, off the table. Yeah, we're not gonna see a one-stop. There's not a chance you're not gonna get a safety car this race. It's the last race of the season. We got 18 drivers out on track. We know how starts go in Bwoah Racing League. As long as they have a clean start, even regardless of that, there are going to be some feisty battles. You can see them tangling already. I think that was Andre against the Williams. It almost seemed like they're going wheel to wheel during shock qualifying. With less than 10 minutes left shock qualifying, we've still got 3 drivers left to sell lap time.
well, one driver just set his time, Baby Shumi. That makes it a Merc 1-2 hour in front. Wow. Well, where have we seen that? Where have we seen that?
Yeah, seen that a little bit too much for my liking. But
Yep.
that's me. Anyway, Sicknick, fastest one out on track. Baby Shumi second, fastest for now. For now, let's not forget KDB is cell lap time and he's only 6th fastest.
And there you go.
There you go. Kuberabi goes fastest now. Kuberabi, 1 minute 7.536.536.
Exactly 1/10 up on
if Envy and
Sicknick's
Derp
time.
are doing what you mentioned, and if Envy and Derp are doing what you mentioned, we're in for a treat of a race from front to the back as always.
Yep, and well, that's always fun to see because overtaking is pretty easy around here as long as you get a good exit out of the last corner. You're in the DRS. That's gonna help you massively with the tow and DRS and battery power if you have those in reserves. But for now, up in front, it's so much easier to control the race, as a lot of the leaders would say. If you're up in front, you can control the pace, you can dictate the race as well. But at the back, you're at the mercy of the drivers who are in front of you, and a little bit of incident might just send you packing back into the pit garage and end your finale early. So let's hope they do not get into those kind of tangles. As we have Andre, who finally steps up to pole position. Provisional pole for now, 107.4. I think it's a bit more time to come with 8 minutes to go in short qualifying. So one more run, it's possible. I'd like to see someone step into the 106s. That would be pretty amazing for short qualifying.
Yeah, Big Man Joe goes a tad bit faster. He's quicker than Gouts now. Gouts still not a bad lap time. Evidently, he's 13th fastest out on track.
Yeah, well, I mean, he can't set a lap time anymore, so either way, he's gonna have a free tire choice to start at the back. That's probably gonna help him. And yeah, let's see. 2 Ferraris out on track as well, towing each other. I'm guessing Harry Rocks is the one benefiting from the tow, and indeed, he will be getting a tow down the second straight, and Envy is helping him out in that sense. Or are they? I wonder.
Either way, 7 minutes left to shock qualifying. Horning finds himself in the thickness of battle at the race start if he doesn't improve his lap time. 1 minute 8.835. He's 9th fastest in between Hinox 24 and KDB. And a lot of the other drivers who often complain that starts don't go their way. So probably not the best of positions to start from. But UK has gone 4th fastest. We might have missed that. He's
Yeah,
in
there
the
you
top
go.
4. And yeah, Drunken Monkey is still to sell lap time. I wonder what he's doing in the pits.
Perhaps he's trying something nice, something funny as well from the back of the grid. We don't know. We don't know. It is the last race, and there you go. As you speak of him, he is finally on his possibly one and only hot lap to go on his out lap now. And cars having to get out of the way. It's a bit of a traffic jam on the after the Senna S's, two Haas's, two Ferraris just going left and right, dodging each other. Thankfully, they all made it out in one piece. Times are falling, like you said, and with just about 6 minutes to go, one more run is possible. And well, drivers may even do 2 runs here with 2 in a row, or 2 with a cooldown in between. So that is still possible that we get some more times coming in closer to the 106s, and well, let's not discount that just yet.
Either way, I did see 2 Ferraris going right in front of each other. Could Envy just, lowballed up and just say, screw it, I want to qualify on pole in the last race of the season? I'm going out on a limb here. And I think he just did it. Did he? He did jump up the order quite a bit. Oh, no, he didn't. My bad.
Nah, he's just going around on the mediums, possibly playing around with his tires, and there you go. Times keep tumbling, and Signic now improves on his second run up to P1, I must say. Well, he takes the pole position for now, 107.3, a full 10th faster than Andres. So, well, the times keep tumbling. Track is gripping up. It grips up very quick around here, and well, he might just have one more run left in his tank. Let's see, as more drivers are coming across the line. Mr. Wax next to cross the line. What can he do? He's up on his time, looks like it. No, he's just about to start his second lap here. Oh, as we speak of that, and he's just spun it at the entry of the Senna S, and first corner takes another victim. I'm presuming that's how Gouts lost his car as well. It looks almost like a carbon copy collision there, and Mr. Wax, well, is the second one to be out of the session for today. Fortunately for him, he's up in P7, and he will be getting a fresh set of soft tires to start the race since this set is destroyed. So let's hope he gets a bit of luck in that sense, but otherwise he may be falling down the order. Next to cross the line, we have looks like it's a Williams to start a lap time, and that's UK. That's not UK. That's Gambler who is starting his lap time here into the CNSS. All nice and clean so far. Down onto the second DRS straight, and let's see how much can he improve in this first sector.
Credit where credit is due. Gambler, he's outdid himself this season yet again. He has come in for multiple teams as a reserve, and he scored points in 90% of his outings out on track in season 5 of the Bwoah Racing League. So going into the next season, whether he's gonna stay or choose to be a full-time driver to attend most of the races, or perhaps a reserve once again, he's definitely one to watch out for most of the in-game team principals.
Indeed. And then we have more drivers coming across the final sector. Kuber Abies has invalidated his lap, unfortunately, so he will be recharging and going once again. Harry Rocks out on track as well, and we out on track as well, presumably to give Harry Rocks a tow, but no, and Harry Rocks is back into the pits for some reason. He has invalidated his run, so that's the end of his run. Gambler manages to improve to a 9.4, only P13 for now. Maybe another run on the board. Let's see. Andre is coming around the last corner as well, and let's see how much he can improve. He's already 3/10 up on his best time across the line, and he goes with a 107.2, 2/10 to take the pole position for now.
Yep, 107.1.
Oh, UK with a 7.0. Times are coming down very quickly, indeed. And UK shows who's the old dog around, and takes a 7.0 provisional pole for him. The two Red Bulls are across the line now. Big Man Joe stays P14. Drunken Monkey, well, I think he has invalidated his lap. Going for another run now, looks like it.
Yeah, and I wonder if Streeter's on another lap of his own. He's in the top 5. Might just see him improve quite a bit as well. Down the order. Okay. Envy disqualified from the session. He'll be starting from the back as he'd want to.
Yeah, and Sata, guess what? What am I seeing down into the second straight here? The Mercedes team drivers are giving each other a tow, and it looks like the first one goes to Baby Shumi. He benefited from a tow from Sicknick down the pit straight, and perhaps Sicknick's gonna get a bite of it on the next lap. Let's see if that helps them to get up higher in the order for the race start. But across the line, let's see, there are more drivers coming across. Rusty Nish, no, it's not Rusty Nish. Beryl Wicks comes across the finishing line, and he improves by a full second. Only P11 for now, 108.2, possibly a strategic pole position, like as we like to call it. Red Bull drivers across the line. Big Man Joe sets a 9.0, still down in P12 on the medium, surprisingly. Drunken Monkey not improving any higher. UK and Andre into the pit, so that's the end of their qualifying. Mercedes, both Mercedes drivers are coming across the line. Let's see who's first to set a lap time. Baby Shimin does not improve. Sicknick is possibly starting his last lap as well, and let's see if there's more drivers to come. Next to cross the line, who is it? Gambler looks like it. Yes, across the line, still not managing to improve on that 9.2.
Yep. Eyes on Baby Shumi perhaps, as he's possibly coming close to the line. If he hasn't, then he's not set a better lap time. Regardless, we see Rusty Nish coming across the line soon enough. And that is the end of qualifying. I see UK is in the pits. He won't be improving his lap time. So goes for Kubahabi and Horning, as well as Rusty Nish evidently. So he will be starting 12th on the grid. But right now, Andre, he's retired from the session as well. So he's starting on the front row, presumably for now. But Sicknick, Streeter, still out on track. Hyrox 24 as well. Baby Shumi, all their starting positions still hangs in the balance.
Indeed, Sicknick, however, though, is a 10th and a half down coming into the end of Sector 2, so he might be on the back foot here, not possibly being able to challenge for pole. Baby Shumi improves to a 7.5, that bumps him up into P6. Sicknick stays in P3. Look at that, only 1,000th of his best time. Wow, Sicknick, he came really close there. I think Sector 1 or 2 might have been the bane of his lap. Otherwise, he was in contention for a pole, looks like it. Last one.
Disappointing.
Last one to cross the line.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it looks like there's one more. No, there's no more drivers to come across the line. Looks like it's just checkered flag dropping everywhere, and that means everyone has set a lap time. Yes, Sartak, back to you.
Yeah, disappointing to see Sicknick and Baby Shumi's strategy not really go their way. I think they had expected to see Baby Shumi up the order and perhaps see both cars start in the top 4. But regardless of that, it's UK who outdid himself in the qualifying session of the final race of Season 5. And he starts on pole position.
Yep, and well, let's see if he can translate that pole into a win in the front row at the Brazilian Grand Prix. Well, you do not want to be leading all the laps around here in Brazil and giving the benefit of the tow and DRS to the rivals behind. Perhaps some strategic play may come in, and let's see. 36 laps coming up for the Brazilian Grand Prix, the finale of Season 5, very shortly.
We're in for a treat. We see Andre starting on the front row. He's been there before. Sicknick as well on the second row. I mean, what more do you want from the top? As well as at the back, we got Envy and Dub starting and attempting the last to first challenge of their own. What are the odds, Dalvin? Do you think we'll see Envy and Dub, both of them on the podium? You think they can manage the chaos that ensues at the back of the pack at the start? Can they manage? I'm pretty sure they can play strategies into their favor, but can they manage the chaos of climbing up the grid from the very end? Because it's a different story when you start at the very back.
Tell you what though, they will have to work together as if they're teammates to get through the traffic, because if they're gonna start fighting each other, they're not gonna be making up any positions at the start or throughout the race. So possibly working together, towing each other along with DRS to catch up to the field, and maybe, just maybe, that may get them pretty close to the front. And throw in a safety car to a VSC and a well-timed pit stop, and a clean race. Possibly they are looking for a podium. We have pretty much seen those things turn out. RB Farrell has pulled it off, UK has pulled it off, everyone has attempted it and has managed it in some way or form. A last two question mark challenge, and well, this doesn't seem too different to us, and except that the two fastest drivers from the last few races are at the back of the grid, so you can expect some overtakes, or maybe a lot of overtakes from them.
Yeah, that's the treat we're in for. And as always, on the edge of my seat, waiting to see the drivers out on track for the formation lap. And I can't wait to see what kind of tires they're on as well. So the top 11, in fact, are on softs. And looks like there's only one driver on the hard. So no, there's two.
There's two, yep. And it soon might be three if Dub just realizes that he has to quickly change over. Otherwise, he might be, he might just penalize himself by by taking a first lap pit stop to go on the hards. Let's see if that turns out. Only two drivers are on hards, like you said so far, and everyone else in P11 onwards are now taking the medium. So Derb is the only one stuck on softs. Perhaps he's not able to change his tires. Let's hope that's not the case. But maybe that makes for an interesting race. Perhaps it's all planned. It's part of the plan. Perhaps he's just going with the flow and try to make up early positions and hold on to the positions that he has later on. Two differing strategies, I guess.
Yeah, Dov's probably gonna feel like he's got a jet engine at the back of his car at the start if he's starting on those softs, and if things go his way, of course. It's not gonna be all that easy. We got some skillful drivers right in front of him, with the likes of Rusty Nish, Big Man Joe, Gouts even. So they'll be defending as much as they can at the start. But yeah, hopefully for the spirit of the fight from last to podium, perhaps, Dub should probably switch to hards, just like Envy did, to drivers also familiar with the front of the grid, not so familiar from the back. Let's see how that unravels.
Yeah, I tell you what though, starting softs from the back of the grid is not usually the best option. If you are starting the back, normally you want to go for the harder tires, go long and deep into the race. But I think it will be nice to see two different tires. Looks like it. So indeed, Dub is going to start on the softs, Envy on the hards. So Gouts on the medium. So three different tires at the back of the grid. Let's see how these drivers, really make it through and make it work. It's going to be a gamble, obviously, because if there's an early safety car, the mediums and hard runners may not be the best one to benefit out of it. Whereas, the soft runners, softer tires, they will have a chance to fit on the harder tires and go till the end. Formation lap, there you go. Everyone's just weaving around and getting some temperature into those cold tires right now.
Yeah, and I hear chatter from the drivers that let's keep it clean into turn one.
Well, yeah. How possible is that? I mean, it's league racing after all, and a bit of desing, throw in the game issues and whatnot, and over ambitious drivers sometimes, and you got a recipe for turn 1 collisions. Thankfully, turn 1 is not that far off the starting grid, so drivers will not be entering at a full speed, so perhaps that might just help them out.
And yeah, we already got a retirement in formation lap. Of course, has no impact to the race itself. He's just sent straight to his grid box, Mr. Wex.
Yep. No impact except for, well, cold tires. Yeah.
So, and he's in the midfield, which means chaos.
Yep.
Okay.
And yep, that's well, I don't see a clean turn 1 coming, but let's
just a perfect Bwoah Racing League race, Dalvin. We're back. I
Yeah.
mean, we're finishing it off on a high, as it is Bwoah Racing League after all. As UK heads into his grid box, followed by Andre, Sicknig, Hyrox 24, Streeter, Kuberabi, and Baby Shumi. And Mr. Wex, who's got cold tires, might just be the cause for chaos.
Yep, and well, as the last drivers on the track, Dub and we are coming across the final corner, passing the pit lane and lining up on the grid. Well, in 22, you will be having F1 22. You will be having manual control over how you line up on the track. Well, perhaps we might see some variation in those, but for now, let's come back to this game. Lap one, five lights are coming on, Sartek, and take it away for one
Yeah,
more time.
now the formation lap has ended, the lights need to come on, and we are yet again stuck in a similar position, which we have been in multiple parts of the season itself. But let's just hope for a smooth final race of the season. We got 18 drivers out on track for the Bwoah Racing League Season 5 Brazilian GP. It's the last race of the season for the bunch of you all watching. Thank you very much. Make sure you stay here till the very end, and hopefully we've got lights on in just a bit. We've got UK on pole position, Andre on the front row alongside him, Sicknick and Irox 24 on the second row, and Streeter Kuberabi to follow, Baby Shumi, Mr. Wex, Horn and KDB, Wix 356, Drunken Monkey, Big Man Joe, Rusty Nish, Gambler, Gouts, and Durpin Envy at the very back of the pack, attempting a last to question mark, as Dalvin said, or perhaps podium, knowing them. After all, here in this brilliant race, which is yet to start, 36 laps
Yeah.
of the Brazilian GP. Can we have red lights? Seems like the game is just saying, hell no, you can't.
Ah, yes, the good old lobby issues in the game and whatnot. And this pretty much, it's gonna give everyone cold tires. So Mr. Wax might not be feeling the pinch anymore.
Yeah.
Looks like Drunken Monkey has
Okay.
disconnected. Possibly that might be uh, some issues there, I guess. But
Yeah.
hopefully that can get the lobby started.
I
Let's see.
guess they're trying to find a pattern from last races when Drunken Monkey was the issue in the lobby, and once he left, they could start the race, evidently. So it's not this time around. I do see an awkward interval time on Streeter of 2 seconds gap to God knows what, but maybe it's him this time around. Either way, I think it's a lobby restart. I think it's safe to say it's a lobby restart. It's been about 60 seconds now.
Yep, and yeah, we'll possibly get back to you all very, very soon, folks. And yeah, do hold on, and we will be back very shortly. All right, folks, welcome back. Second time's a charm, hopefully. Good old F1 2021. Perhaps this is the last time we'll have these issues. And here we go. Lobby restart is underway. And guess what, Sartek? I think you have heard the news. We have some rain in the middle of the race. And,
Yeah, I was just about to tell you a bit of more information on that front. Apparently, 10 minutes into the start of the race is when we might just see rain come up already. Furthermore, I'm actually impressed by your implementation of the word Bwoah into Brazil. Brazil.
well, we had the time in the transition, so the mind just tends to sway from reality, and here we go. Brazilian GP, here we
Yep.
go, and
Brazilian. Either way, can't wait. 18 drivers. You get to see formation lap again, Dalvin.
yeah, two formation lap. Why does it sound so familiar? Like in real life. Although in real life they usually will get one less racing lap, and here we just have a restart, which means another formation lap, and we will have 36 laps of racing. Will we see a different choice of tires from those in P11 onwards, now that they might see the rain coming, or maybe they're gonna stick with the same ones? Let's see.
What are the odds some of them change their mind? What are the odds Envy and Dub got on a voice channel and decided, screw it, let's both go on softs, both go on mediums, both go on whatever tires that'll suit our driving styles to ensure we finish 1-2 to wrap up the season.
Well, looks like they are still on the same page as before. Everyone's on the same tires that they started on much earlier, except for the Red Bull pair of Drunken Monkey and Big Man Joe, still on the soft tires. So maybe just a change of plans last moment. Fresh tires, perhaps, to go up against the top 10 runners who also get fresh tires now. So yeah, just a bit of a change there. Everyone else, Rusty, Nish, Envy on the hards, Gouts, Gambler, and Barrel Wicks, the only ones on mediums. Oh no, there you go. Big Man Joe and Drunken Monkey have switched on to harder tires. Drunken Monkey on the hards, Big Man Joe on mediums. Okay, interesting there. And let's see how long they can go into the race before it starts to rain.
Yep. 10 minutes was the call from one of the drivers who had heard Jeff say that to him right before the race started, or race came close to starting earlier on. But yeah, we got a new lobby, folks. We'll have 18 drivers out on track for the formation lap of the Bwoah Racing League Season 5 Brazilian GP. And we're pumped as always here in the comms box, even more pumped up considering we've got predictions of light rain at different points of the race itself. So not only the last 5 laps, but also perhaps the first 10 laps will be as interesting as always here in the Bwoah Racing League.
Indeed. And here we go, formation lap once again underway, and yeah, nothing much as always, but just weaving your tires. The only thing that's changed is the top 10 runners who did qualify on softs. They are fortunate enough to be getting a set of fresh soft tires, and that will definitely play to their advantage at the start with the fresher tires, so they can go that extra lap into the race. Thankfully though, in the real life 2022 season and the next game, we will be having free tire choice at race start anyway. So drivers would not have to be scrambling their heads in qualifying if they want to go for a soft run, a medium run, or an inters run or whatever. They can qualify on whichever tire they want, and the race start they'll have free tire choice.
Yeah, F1 2022 seemingly seems, okay, I might have lost the words, because to be really honest, it seems so far-fetched, with no flaws whatsoever, that I'm not even talking about it. I've barely read about it too. I've only heard about it, seen a bit of clips as well. So I'm not partaking in any comments regarding that game until it comes out. I really hope it is as good as everybody's saying it to be. And I hope we have a fabulous season 6 as part of it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave this on the table before the formation lap ends.
Yeah.
I just hope the online scene is so much stable and so much more improved. That's what pretty much everyone's looking forward to, and if we have that, I think we can even start opening up the possibilities of what we can do with our races. Cross plays on the way, and hopefully that means more drivers on track and more chaos during the races, as we all like to see.
Yeah, Gouts and Rustinish ended up getting disqualified in the formation lap, and Rustinish is on a set of hard tires. And it's going to be cold. And I mean, let's not get started with what's going to happen at race. Rustinish starts. Oh my god, okay, 14th. So perhaps a bit too easy at the back at the start of the Brazilian GP this time around for Derp and Envy. So you got a former BRL champion in pole position and the current BRL champion starting from the very back of the pack. We got 36 laps of racing ahead of us around the circuit of Interlagos, and we're all set to go. 18 drivers out on track. UK on pole position, Andre on the front row. Do we have red lights soon enough? We will, with Sicknick and Hyrox 24 on the second row. Sita, Kuberabi, Baby Shumi, Mr. Vex, Horning, KDB to wrap up the top 10. For now, things are gonna get pretty chaotic, I'd like to assume, going into the first lap itself. But for now, we wait for the red lights.
Yeah, the wait for the red lights it's gonna go on for a little while, looks like it. Looks like this time more drivers are having connection issues. Oh, there you go. Drunken Monkey has left the session, and 5 lights are coming on. Sartek, here we go. 5 lights and away. Very quick fly. 5 lights and up in front. Let's see what's happening. UK gets a poor start, and he's jumped by Andre and Sicknick. Yeah, there you go. And but no, UK is coming back on the inside now into turn 3 down the Senna S's. What can they do? At the back of the grid, positions are being swapped around everywhere. There's collisions. Gouts and Vix are spun around, and Gouts is not having a good time at the start there. Up in front, drivers running wide left and right, and whoa, it's just a little messy at the start here.
Yeah, quite the unorthodox racing lines taken by a few intersector 1, but regardless, we got Andre now leading this race, and that's an Alfa Romeo not coming back. He's climbed incredible positions. Derp up at a P7, having started P17, mind you, or perhaps P18. He's up at a P7. Where's Envy? Envy's actually still back. He's in P12. How that happened is one to hear from the drivers themselves. Meanwhile, up in front, Sickling and Sita seemingly have held on to their positions, and so has Hyrox 24. Mr. Wex, Big Man Joe, much improvement on their regard. Baby Shumi fallen down the order, and we got Derp still on top of Derp as he's currently 5th on the grid. Baby Shumi makes a position up. He gets the move done on Big Man Joe, and along the main straight, Andre first one, fastest lap time. Hyrox 24 into the pits.
Indeed, possibly some damage sustained on the first lap. Into the last corner, he was pretty slow, got passed by Derp, and he will be getting a wing change there and another set of soft tires to go. So possibly the rain is coming sooner than expected, which is why he's going for the softs. Horning into the pits as well. But up in front, Andre now finally into the lead, has started to extend his lead by a second and a half. Sicknick though staying very close to UK and the top one. Well, staying close to the top 2 there. And well, DRS will not be enabled just yet. It's still lap 2. Drivers are finding it a little difficult to follow in this middle sector here. Heavy fuel and whatnot comes into play.
Yeah, and the more I see it, the biggest winner in the first 2 laps is Derp. Meanwhile, the biggest loser ends up being his teammate Horning, who's down in P18, having started somewhere in the midfield, I presume. But meanwhile, that battle between Derp and Envy, they had promised each other they will start from the back of the pack, but seems like it's gone against Envy, who's now in 9th. In thickness of battle, he's got KDB on his tail for God knows how many times this season that's been the case.
Yeah, KDB on the soft tires against Envy's Heart, so that is gonna be a battle coming in for the laps to come. Now KDB, both KDB and Envy have DRS for this lap, so Envy will be safe for another lap or so until the next straight. Let's see as they get past the ghosted car of Mr. Wex. KDB riding on the diffuser of Envy, almost taking an alternate line to avoid getting into the back. Oh, very close they get, Very close they get into the infield section here. Look at how much more grip the soft tires have at this point.
This wasn't part of the plan, was it, for Envy today? Because KDB is breathing down his gearbox, and Envy is losing time to Big Man Joe as well. Meanwhile, his competitor for the day against was Dub, and he's up in P5. Regardless, Andre leads this race ahead of UK. He's opened up a gap more than 1.5 seconds or so. In fact, Signic's within a second of UK, so UK is possibly going to have his hands full soon enough, with even Streeter being well within a second, on the ballpark of a second so far, up in the top 3. But Dub, he's made a move yet again. He's up in a P4.
Yeah, but Streeter now will come back with the DRS this time around, and he is gonna try to repass Dub, looks like it, into 10-4. Yes, he sends it down the inside, and alongside they go side by side. Who's gonna come on here? Who's brave on traction? Looks like both of them were pretty brave, but Dub gets the outside line and better line into the infield section here.
I mean, the confidence on both these drivers to keep it wheel to wheel through that part of the track. I think even Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen went a bit wide, if I'm not wrong. But again, those are comparisons not too apt, I presume. But regardless, Andre holds on to the lead of this race. We see the biggest losers owning in IROX 24, Drunk Monkey as well, P16, P17, P18, nothing's changed there. And we've lost intervals. There's not much to say about that. And the race continues.
Yeah, and top 4 I think looks like they are settling into a good pace. Top 5 indeed, from Andre down to Streeter. Nothing much has changed, but look at that. Big Man Joe, now he's staring down the barrel of possibly getting double overtaken here by Envy and KDB into turn 1. He survives the attack, but looks like he's run a bit wide, and KDB is trying to get past both of them. And down the second DRS straight here, looks like Envy might just send it into turn 4. Will he though? Pulls alongside into the inside, and there you go. Braver under braking. Big Man Joe tries to hold it off. Tries to hold off KDB as well. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place, but KDB now tries to go down the inside, and there you go. Softer tires making work, and will he get the braking right? And yes, still side by side. They are pretty much leaving each other enough space. A lot of respect shown by these veterans around here, and that's just helping Envy to pull away meanwhile.
Yeah, not just veterans, Davin. All 3 of them now champions of BRL at least once so far. And you can see that battle continues between Big Man Joe and KDB. KDB is not going to put out without a fight. And you can see him still breathing down his neck just like he did with Envy. Seems like he's been the loser so far, having lost out to the position to Big Man Joe. Nothing much has changed down the order, but up the order, Dubs into the podium positions now.
Yeah, pretty quick, making good work of the soft tires so far, up into P3, and Envy not too far off considering he's on the hard. So as the laps go on, he's gonna just phase in right into the pace, and the longer this goes on, the more beneficial it is for him as we are waiting for the rain. And yeah, KDB, even before the DRS was activated on for the pit straight, he had got past Big Man Joe. Now still within a second of Envy, the soft tire is still proving to be the tie to be on. And looks like this is gonna be another battle coming really soon. But looks like the first one, we have Dub at the back of UK, just within half a second now. And looks like it's another overtake coming. Dub making quick positions now already.
What's gonna unravel in the next 30 laps is anyone's guess. 6 laps up here in the last race of the Bwoah Racing League Season 5. We've got a retirement. It's Rusty Nish. He seems to have left the session, so I take it he's gone into the pits for a safe retirement. But yeah, that's the end of the race for him, and we got a safety car, so it's on track. Dalvin, what's happening?
It is, yeah, it is. Rusty Nish is out of the race, and that might have brought out the full safety car, but question is, where is Rusty Nish's car? I don't see it on track, and that might just be a mystery in Brazil. But looks like safety car is out, and drivers are gonna have a lap to get past them safely. Oh, look at that. Signic trying to navigate around the safety car, thankfully not tapping it in any way. And yeah, the drivers who are on the soft tires might just be considering a pit stop here if the rain is not gonna come anytime soon. Let's see if these drivers are gonna gamble it on this on another fresh set of softs for the restart.
Yeah, can we have the tire sets that they're on? Because if I'm not wrong, we were promised rain into the first 10 minutes of the race. It's been more than 10 minutes now, but we haven't seen a bit of rain even. Perhaps whoever told me that might have just lied a bit. Regardless, we have rain coming eventually. But for now, Andre leads this race. UK having started pole position running P2. Derp having started all the way down in P17 has come up in a P3, and we got the first driver into the pits, followed by the next two.
Yep.
Top 3.
Top 4, top 5 indeed, everyone into the pit. The soft runners are in, except for Streeter, who decided to stay out on the softs. So he's thinking something else in his mind, and that just promotes Baby Shumin and we up the positions into P2 and 3. I surprising that the Mercedes team did not choose to double stack, considering they had the gap to make it work. But perhaps they are on a different strategy. Let's see if that works out. Envy now looks like he's in the driving seat up in P3. So well, I think playing on the long game seems to be helping him for now. But hard tires on the restart against softer mediums and fresher softs at the back. He's gonna have a tough time, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. A bunch of these drivers are in for a tough time. That's a safety car restart, I presume. We've seen that happen one too many times in Bwoah Racing League as well. I see right now KDB, Drunken Monkey, both on hards. Kuberabi not having the greatest races, down in P15 on hards. And we got the next driver on hards, way up at P3, in the likes of Envy. 7-lap old hards.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Andre seems positioned, in fact, UK, he's come out on fresh set of softs, hasn't he?
Yeah, and surprising enough to go on a set of softs here. If the rain is indeed coming, that's a pretty bold choice to go on. But these softs can pretty much do half a race distance and throw in some safety car laps. I think he's good to go for the next 20 laps. Baby Shumi is into the pits this time around, and he's gonna be losing a lot more positions than he would have if he double stacked earlier, but perhaps just a decision to be safely taken by the Mercedes team there.
Yeah, meanwhile, it almost seemed like KDB was ready to pounce on Drunken Monkey. That made a lot of sense once Drunken Monkey headed into the pits. And he's on a fresh set of sauce, mimicking his good buddy UK strat, perhaps.
Yep, and they will definitely benefit on the restart with these soft tires proving to be, well, they are pretty much the race tire you want to be on around here. And with the rain on the way, I'd probably go with the softs as well. It worked out well for me once, and I think these drivers might just be, hoping the rain comes sooner rather than later, but not too soon, because they have some positions to make up on the soft tires before the rain arrives. Clouds are getting darker though. That's ominous.
And soon enough, we're gonna have safety car restart all within less than half a second of each other, all bunched up together. Unfortunate honing seems to have disconnected, but there you go. There's the Mercedes safety car right ahead of Streeter, who leads this race currently. Envy running in second, Big Man Joe running in third, Andre running fourth, and UK running fifth. Derp not too far behind, running sixth. The win for one hell of a safety car restart. We've got safety car in this lap even, Davin, and it's lap number 10. We'll have racing once again.
Yeah, and Streeter is slowly just backing up the pack because he knows he doesn't want to give anyone the toe and possibly the opportunity to overtake him down into the turn. It's a pretty long run, and there you go. Streeter has flawed it out of the last corner there and into turn 1 he will go. Mr. Vex seems to be parked up in the wrong position, and off he goes. He's disqualified from the session. We have 2 drivers out of the race already. Safety car restart seems to be just nice and gingerly done, and no one's getting into any incidents just yet. We have a yellow flag still out on track. Gouts is into the pits as well, presumably picking up some damage, and he will be back at the back.
Yeah, meanwhile, the one that didn't have the greatest starts has got to be Gods, like you mentioned out. I think there was an incident at the back of the pack. Regardless, up in front, Andre lost a position to UK, rightfully so. UK is on a fresh set of softs. Big man Joe now is the next one out for picking around the outside. Goes UK or Andre, still holds on to that position. He's trying to keep the outside line, probably won't play into his favor because he's got Dub now breathing down his gearbox. And everyone up in the top 5 holds on to their positions respectively, all within half a second.
Yeah, the biggest gap so far looks like to be, between Envy and Big Man Joe. But oh, look at that. UK just made a dive of a century on Derp, looks like it. Might have run wide or something. But look at, oh my goodness, how close they can get. Andre now attacking Big Man Joe into turn 1. Around on the inside, can he make the move stick? And Sartak looks like raindrops are there. I see raindrops. And this might just be the transition period. Looks like everything's going to change in 5 laps time.
And just like that, the battle that ensued, and the only driver to bite the bullet had to be Big Man Joe. He's fallen down the order to P6. We got Andre back into the podium position. UK end up having passed Big Man Joe as well. So unfortunate for him in that kerfuffle. Meanwhile, on lap number 11 in sector 2, lights up yellow. I wonder what's gone wrong there. Regardless, as the drops fall, it's the drivers who are on hards who possibly can bide time. A bit of it, at least, as the soft runners will head into the pits soon enough.
Yeah, looks like the rain is coming down pretty fast here, and we might just have intermediate condition very, very soon. So the fresh softs are definitely going to be an advantage during this transition, and definitely UK is one of the drivers to benefit from it. And looks like some drivers might even gamble it at the end of this lap. Let's see if anyone in the top 5, anyone's going to dive into the pits just yet. No one just yet. No one just yet, but UK...
We got DRS?
We got DRS? We still have DRS. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So it is still dry enough. Looks like it. The FIA decides that it's safe enough. But there you go. Everyone's just within a second, and it's a DRS train for the top 4 here. UK tries to go for a move on Andre, but no, not good enough there. Seems like the grip is gonna start going off now, and Kubarabi, first one to bite the bullet and take the gamble and into the pits, takes the intermediates out, and it looks like he might have called this right. Look at the track, it is super moist now. It's getting wet by the second, and he might have just pulled off undercut of a century here.
I mean, how is Streeter holding on to that race lead right now? He's on 11 lap full stops.
And he's squiggling. There you go, DRS disabled already.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. About time. And Andre and UK might just follow suit and come into the pits as well. I'll be surprised if Streeter stays on out. I think he's got a huge pair then. Regardless, Envy, Andre, UK, Derp, Wixie 5-6, all of them. Oh, we got a spin! Wixie 5-6. He's off track, he's onto the grass.
Yeah, he spun into the infields and was forced to reset onto the track. Picked up a 10-second penalty for going onto the infield. But look at that, it's a rush into the pit lane. Well, what's happening up front? Streeter is still out on track. He's staying out. UK is staying out. Andre is staying out. What has happened there? And I have my eyes on Kubarabi because he's coming around the last corner here. He might have just gotten past everyone. He's coming around the last corner now, but looks like he was a little too far off to pull off the undercut. But can he though? Looks like he might have just pulled off a little bit of an undercut. And yes, there you go. He makes up quite a few positions now.
Yeah, he puts himself in contention for top 10, if not top 5 at least, considering he had an incredibly huge gap to even the driver right up in front. So it did play into his favor, but right now UK, Streeter and Andre, I mean, still staying out, and so did Vixie 5-6 apparently.
Yeah, I wonder what went in the mind of this top trip, because look at them. Everyone's just sliding out on the last corner, and Envy in the meantime is just, taking his time to get used to the intermediates, and he's probably going to come out in the lead now. And finally, there you go, top 3 are heading into the pits. UK, Streeter, Andre finally into the pits. A lap too late perhaps, picking up speeding penalties into the pit lane as well. Not going to help their case. Let's see. Across the start-finish straight, Envy, a championship leader, the championship winner this season, comes across the line. He will retake the lead once again, showing us why he's the champion this season.
Now, I was just about to mention that UK actually made up quite a bit in retaking the race lead itself from Streeter, in fact, but that 5-second penalty might just come back to bite him at the end of the race. But regardless, as you mentioned, Envy leads this race with his close competitor for the day, Derp, down in P5.
Yeah, doesn't seem like he had the best of outlaps there. Perhaps something might have happened. It's down in P5, but soon enough, looks like these intermediate conditions will play itself out, and if it is gonna dry up, I think we might have a bang of a race. We're not even halfway through the race just yet, just lap 14 out of 36.
Yeah, exactly. Come lap number 30, 31, I wonder how things will take a turn. But right now, Envy leads this race. We have most of the drivers, all drivers in fact now, on intermediates, and we've got some of the drivers racking up time penalties as well. Drunken Monkey, as he enters the pit lane, racks up 5 seconds, just like UK, Streeter and Andre did.
Yeah, speaking of Andre, looks like he's on the back of Streeter now to attempt an overtake on these fresh intermediates while they are still pretty close, have the pace. Can they send it? It looks like it's pretty difficult to make an overtake around here without the assistance of DRS, and throw in some wet weather. It is pretty difficult to make an overtake around here.
Indeed it is, but somehow Andre's kept it well within a gap of Streeter, and I think he's going to be lining up a move now. Under these intermediate conditions, down the inside goes Andre, almost wheel to wheel through the corner, but he will have to concede and have to move.
Yeah, it's pretty close, but drivers do not want to take the risk of losing the wing or just losing the car entirely. So Andres decides to stick right behind Streeter through this infield section, and what a job he's doing, sticking pretty close. By the end of this section might just help him to make an overtake. All the time it is inviting Dub back into the party for the hunt for P3.
Yeah, for the hunt of envy, if it's anyone's guess, but yeah. Right now, Hyox 24, he's Envy's teammate, a huge gap to him and Dub, so clearly he can't play the role. Kuberabi, the first driver into the pits for intermediates, finds himself from P16 all the way into P7.
What a genius move that was. It's always worth taking the gamble, especially when the rain starts to drop pretty fast, and what a call he made. And what happened there? Andre ran wide into the center SS, and that has given his position up to Dub now. So Streeter survives another lap, but now he has Dub and on his back as well. So three quick drivers in succession here are all just trying their best to get acclimatized to this weather, but it's starting to bunch up in some places, and up in front though, Envy is starting to pull out his own gap. Dub has to get past Streeter in order to catch Envy if he wants to do anything.
Yeah, 3-second time penalty for Baby Shumi as well. So now we see a bunch of these drivers getting penalties. Meanwhile, I must point out, Drunken Monkey finds himself at the very back of the pack, with Gouts and Sicknick having started up in the top 5, I presume.
Top 3?
Yeah,
he did. He qualified P3 definitely.
Yeah,
and a bit of weather and a bit of luck always goes into league racing. But there you go. Back up in front though. Dub this time around chasing down Streeter. No DRS in the wet conditions. Pretty difficult to even get close. And ERS usage is not that high in the intermediates anyway, so everyone's able to spam that battery power to defend their position down onto the straight. But looks like this time around Dub might have just gotten a better exit coming out of the center SS around the outside, looks for a move, but no, it's not close enough. Streeter just parks his car in the right place, and that has given Andre the chance to make a move back on Dub, but no, stays behind just to be safe into the infield section.
Yeah, he was closing in real quick, and he keeps that gap as well. Oh, was that contact there for a moment?
Yeah, it looked like a bit of a
it almost seemed like
there.
On my screen, at least.
Let's hope there wasn't any contact, because a little bit of wing damage in the intermediate conditions will mean that you'll be losing about a second a lap here. So Streeter still keeping his speed 3. All the while, he's been slowly catching up to UK. If not, he's just maintaining the gap. Oh, he gets a bit of a poor exit there. And Dub this time around so much closer on the exit. Down the pit straight with DRS. With no DRS. With just battery power. Pulls alongside on the outside. Who's gonna be faster on the straight? Who is braver on the brakes? Let's see. Into turn 1. Dub around the outside attempts to go and pull the move off. Side by side, they are into the entire Senna as Streeter still keeps it ahead. Andre now at the back of Streeter and Dub, and looks like it's gonna be 3 wide, maybe into turn 4.
Seems like it, isn't it? I think it almost will be, but no, Andre will watch as the two drivers who've been battling wheel to wheel for a while now keep going at it. It's Dub versus Streeter, Streeter versus Dub, corner after corner.
Yeah, and Andre, he goes down the inside of Streeter, tries to steal a position of Andre as well, of Streeter as well at the same time. So Streeter definitely starting to struggle a little bit into the deep end of this intermediate stint. Dub now has pulled off a move, so he's starting to pull a gap as well. So Andre and Streeter are left to duke it out for P4 here.
Yeah, for a moment there, I almost was reminded of the one clip of Michael Schumacher, Ralf Schumacher, as well as Rubens Barrichello, where Rubens Barrichello cheekily got the inside line and made a double pass on the Schumacher brothers.
Looks like Andre might make a move as well this time. Again, around the outside he goes on Streeter, and he is much braver to take the outside line. Squeezes the throttle just enough to get ahead. Side by side they are coming out of the center as it's gonna be a drag race down into turn 4. Who's brave on the brakes? Let's see. Down the next straight they go. Andre on the outside, Streeter on the inside. Looks like Streeter just has it covered just enough. But who's coming out ahead? Oh my goodness, I've switched the camera at the wrong time. But yes, still side by side. Oh, looks like Streeter has run a little wide onto the grass, and that means Andre now gets up into P4. 2 seconds they have lost in the battle. Indeed.
That was too close for comfort, though. I thought that was the end of Streeter's race almost, but somehow he comes back onto the track and will continue. Yes, he's lost 2 positions in a matter of 2 laps, but the race is on, and we're merely reaching the halfway point. Actually, we have met the halfway point of this race. We're on lap number 19, and then we lead this race with an enormous gap. The UK up in front.
Yep, and while that gap seems to be growing, Dub has been cutting into UK's gap about 2 to 3 tenths a lap, and soon enough he might be on the back of UK. But catching is one thing, passing is another. So yeah, let's see. Gaps are pretty open right now, the closest one being between Andre and Streeter right now. So let's see if there's a bit more of weather change to come, perhaps to spice things up. Maybe if things dry up and someone gambles on the dry tires at the right time, we might just see another Kuberabi-esque kind of brilliance shine through and gain some position. Kuberabi, speaking of which, up into P6, and what a call it has been indeed, Sarthak.
Yeah, we can't stop talking about it at this point, but then again, I have a feeling another precise call is required from the driver soon enough, once the conditions get back to needing slick tires. But for now, it's the intermediate tires, and the one who won out of all of them was Kuberabi, with an enormous number of positions being made up the order. Mind you, he did start in the top 10 if I'm not wrong, and had a bad start to begin with. So yeah, he earned that well.
Yeah,
and he leads this race.
Yeah, that's a given, and looks like Dub is finally starting to catch up even more to UK now. Just a second and a half the gap is. He's cut on the gap from about 3 seconds down to a second and a half in 2 laps, and he can see UK just up the road. Andre starting to catch up to Dub as well slowly, but the gap still remains. UK in P2. Let's bring up the penalty situation. Let's have a look. A lot of drivers picked up a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane, and that includes UK, Andre, Streeter, Baby Shumi, Gambler, Vix, 256 I presume, and Drunken Monkey. Everyone finding it a little difficult during the transition from dry to intermediates, and definitely messing up their braking zones into the pits, picking up a 5.
Big Man Joe now picks up a 3-second time penalty as we looked at the penalties. So after multiple warnings, Big Man Joe picking up penalties is a rare sight, Davin. He's usually one of the clean drivers in the league.
Yeah, clean and clean and respectful, I'd say, definitely.
Yeah.
And then again, it's the intermediate conditions, like we say. So the conditions are not ideal to put on a throttle. Sometimes you just miss a corner, or you turn in a little too early, and you get a corner cutting warning for your troubles there, just to be safe. But yeah, in the meantime, I think he's just doing well down in P10. Everyone's kind of in no man's land with super big gaps. The only one that's really closing in is Derp on UK, now just within a second here.
Yeah, the gaps have extended beyond a second between each one of these drivers, apart from Derp and UK, of course. He's trying his best to keep it within a second of UK, and that is for that challenge he's got with Envy. To think Envy and Derp started P18 and P17 respectively, and find themselves in P1 and P3 now.
Yeah, and well, I think it's been a season where these two have shown time and time the pace that they have, and luck as well, I'd say, definitely went in their way in most of the races, and that's what brought them up here. Oh, what's that? Andre going wide? No, that's just a little game moment there where it showed us Andre went wide, but he's still on track. But in the meantime, Derp slowly, again I'd say slowly, just eating into the gap that he has to UK. A second now, and oh, what's happened there? Where's UK gone? UK has gone off. UK has gone off Sartak into the Senna SS, and no, he's back in front. What's happening to the game? So, am I the one lagging out today, or is just the game showing us some tricks? UK still maintains his P2 for now.
I was just about to mention how it's opportunity for Derp, but evidently the gaps extended. What?
Nah, it looks like it's just about a second between them. 15 seconds, that would be pretty much impossible. I'm guessing it's 15 seconds between him to Envy, if anything. But yeah, 15 seconds doesn't look like the gap they have out on track between UK and Derp. It's definitely closer than that, about a second there. And once these deltas sort themselves out, we may just have a battle on hand with Derp trying to chase down UK, trying to overtake in these conditions. Lap 24 of 36, we're about 2/3 of the way through in our season finale. And what's happened at the back there, Harryrox has got past Gambler, and looks like that's a bit of a issue for Gambler, or he just ran wide probably. Yeah, he probably just ran wide.
And regardless of that issue that went down between UK and Derp, now it seems like it's corrected itself, and yeah, Derp is within a second of UK, so he might just have had an incident on his own as well. But regardless, at the back of the pack, it's Sicknig closing in on victory 5-6. This is the battle for P13 as rain keeps coming down on us. Sicknig, who started well within in the top 5, find himself battling for P13. I might just lose a position to Hyrox24 as it seems.
Oh yeah.
He's got Hyrox24 breathing down his gearbox now. Around the outside comes Hyrox24, peaks but doesn't attempt, has to hold back, and we might just see him go wheel to wheel on the main straight. After all, was there contact? Let's hope there wasn't. There were almost wheel to wheel, but there aren't anymore. On the main straight, we expect a three-way battle into turn 1.
Yeah, Signic pulls along the outside of Vic Street 5-6, and looks like they are getting pretty close, and some cars are getting ghosted as well, so I'm not sure what exactly is happening over there. A bit of a ghosting going on. Looks like Vix might have been disconnected, or looks like Signic is the one that's disconnected here. Yeah, it is him who's disconnected, so he is going to lose some positions there. Unfortunate for him. So Harryrox in the meantime has made some positions, and you can Derp once again. We almost missed it. Thankfully, the overtake did not happen. Looks like they might have gone side by side into the Senna SS. UK pulling out just ahead. Still keeps the P2 for himself.
Holds on to that P2 for that much longer as that gap is extended to over a second. Then again, the real battle for Derp perhaps might just be between himself and Envy, considering that 5-second penalty for UK. But right now on lap number 25, nothing much has changed down the order either.
Yeah, and maybe just the wet weather, and it just shows us who's really adapted well to the weather in a quick time, or who takes a long time to adapt. And I think we're starting to reach a point where every driver has got a feeling of the conditions right now, and they're just starting to push that that apex a little more, trying to find a bit more time, catch up to the next car, make up a position or two. But mistakes will start creeping in as you start to push the limits as well.
Exactly. 10 laps left into the race itself, and we leads this race ahead of the driver who started this race in the lead, UK, ahead of Derp, another driver who started at the very back of the pack, followed by Andre, who started on the front row. So yeah, that is the top 4 currently. Meanwhile, okay, the gaps have closed in quite a bit by the looks of it between Derp, Andre. Okay, why does it say a McLaren is ahead of the Alfa Romeo?
That's probably Gouts who's being lapped here.
Oh.
Yeah, indeed, that is Gouts who's being lapped, and he's giving a cheeky little dirty air to to Derp, and that has seemed to help Andre to come back at Derp quite a bit here. So the three UK, Derp and Andre starting to converge once again. Perhaps Derp might have just exhausted his tire life there in chasing down UK and getting the moves done. And looks like Sartak, am I seeing this right? There's no more raindrops.
So now comes the time for the strategy call yet again. Can Kuberabi be on it and perhaps stay in the top 5 and continue his race? We're down to the last 9 laps. Henley leads this race. UK, Derp, Andre up in top 4, followed by Streeter, who had a squiggly end to his stint on the softs last time around. Now it's all to play for, isn't it? We're on board, Andre.
Yeah, and it looks pretty dry now to me. Perhaps just a lap or two, and we might have all the strategy gambles coming in. Obviously, they're gonna go for the softs here, right? Because why not? It's less than 10 laps to go. Soft tires won't make it till the end, and then it's just a matter of who's faster, who gets more battery power, who gets a better exit coming out of the last corner to make a move. Looks like at this point on this transition, Derp seems to be off pace, and Andre is right on the back of him already. And yeah, it looks like it's converging now. It's gonna happen once again. Let's see. In this infield section, Derp is definitely struggling to keep his pace here.
Yeah, Gouts' tricks might have just worked into Andre's favor after all. Meanwhile, another thing is if they do come out on the softs right off the gate, squiggly again for Andre. Rare kicked out quite a bit, and he loses quite a bit of time he had made up to Derp.
And there you go, they are into the pits. Derp and Andre are the first one to react this time around, perhaps going for an undercut onto the soft tires. This might just work out, and let's see if they are going to have a good undercut compared to the rest of the field, or is it a lap too early? Oh, Andre has to serve the 5-second penalty, so that is gonna slow him down. Perhaps this was definitely the right call for him though. Definitely.
Streeter did follow suit as well, and UK and Envy stayed out, which puts Kuberabi and KDP into P3 and P4 respectively on this last race of Bwoah Racing League Season 5. Sector 2 lights up yellow.
Derp has almost lost it on the pit exit there. He was almost into the walls there, so it is still a little squiggly on the exits in the pit lane, so they have to be careful. It doesn't look like it's oh yeah, it looks like Derp is definitely having some issues there. Baby Shumi gets past him on the intermediates. This will be a good indication to see if the soft tires are ready for action. Looks like it's not. Envy now gambles it on the softs as well. He's into the pits. Will he time this right? Is he in a good position to take advantage of the shifting conditions? Harry Rocks right in front of him has made a stop. Envy into the pits as well, takes the medium tires. Yes, that's part of his challenge of not using the soft tires. So he's up in front, making the mediums work. I hope UK's into the pits as well.
Davin, meanwhile, Andre's losing positions on track. Both Baby Shumi and Horning have made the pass on him. So those softs are not playing into his favor either, just like it didn't for Derp. That's one of the things I wanted to bring up earlier on.
Indeed.
I think I did see Derp come in contact with the pit exit wall, in fact. But 3-second time penalty for Hyrox running forward as well after multiple warnings. And we're on board Kuberabi, who currently runs P2. He's lapping Sicknick as we speak.
And he's cut off 5 seconds to Envy's lead just within a matter of 2 or 3 corners there. So these intermediate tires are still the tires to be on. Looks like the gamble to go onto the dries was a little too early. Might Kuberabi have called this just right? Might the Aston Martin team have called this right? Because they look like they might be in a 1-2 after this.
This is incredible to watch. KDB right behind Kuberabi, well within range. Perhaps if he can keep it going, he will be able to make the pass on Envy on track, perhaps. But that's too much to say right now, with that gap still being beyond 6 seconds between Kuberabi and Envy. Envy being on the medium set on lap number 29.
Yeah, and look at that, Sarthak, the gap has just come down even more.
God.
It's 4.5 seconds, 4 seconds now. In a matter of 2 or 3 more corners, I think we might just see the Aston Martin pair go for the lead here.
Yeah, on the main stage, you can see him charging onto Envy. Kuberabi is coming, Envy. Look out to your rearview mirrors. It's not Dubs, it's Kuberabi and KDB charging on the main stage. And now in sector 1.
He's already there. Kuberabi is already there. He's already making the move.
Oh my word, he's pulled off the impossible, some would say. He takes the race lead for the first time this race.
Yeah, next up is KDB. He is catching up to Envy as well, pretty close. And then, oh, what's happened there? It's a full safety car's been called out.
Oh my word.
What has happened there? Who has
Timing
crashed
on
out?
that.
Wow.
Nice timing.
Wow,
My, oh
timing.
My oh my, I think Corning and Baby Shumi also got ahead quite a bit. Drive-through penalty to add on to it for Envy. It's disaster for him.
Yeah, it was gonna look like he might have been bailed out by the safety car, but looks like with the drive-through now, Kuberabi is in the driving seat to win the race. Wow.
On lap number 30, things took quite a turn, didn't it? Andre returns back into the pits, Dalvin, and Vix356 falls him into the pits as well. And I just wonder, so Vix356 is serving his penalty, and there's a fresh set of softs ready to come on for him. Meanwhile, Andre, he's on, what kind of set is he on? Softs it is.
Softs as well. Okay. Interesting choice there. Kuberabi there from the lead of the race for barely a lap is into the pits to surface stop and take the dry tires till the end. KDB is in as well, so it's gonna be a good old double stack from the Aston Martin team. But you know, it's good enough for them because they have the gap to the rest of the pack. Horning stays out on the intermediate tires. A gamble coming in from the Alfa Romeo team there. So will this pay off though, I wonder?
Yeah, extending that stint. We've seen him do that once before, I presume. But yeah, that is the end of the race for Envy. Is that even a fair end? Is that a fair end though? That'll be taken up to the stewards, but an unfortunate end to Envy. He's been disqualified for ignoring yellow flags, I presume unfairly. But for now, that is the end of the race for him. Kuberabi joined the track.
I think he might have just exceeded the delta during the safety car or something. I hope that's not the case. But there you go. Kuberabi now, well, into the lead. And Horning right behind him on the intermediate. So which of these tires are going to be effective on the restart? Which of these tires are going to be effective at the race end? Because it's not many laps left. 5 laps to go, Sarthak. The good old 5 laps where everything kicks off.
Exactly. It's Bwoah Racing League after all, folks. And we don't end the season in perfect Bwoah Racing League fashion. We wouldn't be who we are, would it? But yeah, KDB has a challenge in his hands. He has to make up those 2 positions to finish a brilliant Aston Martin 1-2 for the first time this season. It'll be his personal 1-2 for the second time. Last time around, he did finish a brilliant 1-2 with Sicknick. This time around, he'll be following Kuberabi into that 1-2. Mind you, Kuberabi is actually a reserve driver stepping in for the team this time around, and he's stepped in pretty darn well, I'd say.
He has done a perfect Hulkenberg today, and let's hope the conditions work out in his favor because it still looks like it's pretty slippery out there. But no, look at the track. I think it is dried up quite enough to make the soft tires work out. And this time around, drivers will be sussing on the conditions if it is ready for the dries. If it is, Kuberabi and KDB are staring down at the possibility of an Aston Martin 1-2, the one and only 1-2 in this season by Aston Martin. Baby Shumi, who's found himself back up into P3 under all this kerfuffle, might just be losing some position. Some drivers are still out on intermediates there. Sicknick being one, Drunken Monkey, Big Man Joe, Baby Shumi and Honing, the only ones out on the intermediates.
Yeah, and as it stands, what race is turning out to be? We're on lap number 32. Safety car still stays out. What? I believe that came out for Envy. Envy's incident, correct?
I'm not sure what happened exactly. There wasn't any time on track. Perhaps just perhaps someone spinning somewhere and that might have triggered the safety car. But what a safety car it's been. I was imagining this situation much earlier, but I just didn't bring it up. I wouldn't thought it would happen where it's a transition and a safety car comes out, but look at that, it just happened, and here we are.
Charge, man. That charge by Kuberabi to Envy, that was a treat to watch, wasn't it, Davin? I mean, again, we're talking about it already. With the race still yet to finish, we've got 4 laps in fact, left, 3 laps after all, or 4 laps, regardless of many other laps. It's Kuberabi leading this race.
Yeah, and guess what, Sartek? There are some more drivers driving into the pit. So Gambler is in, Drunken Monkey is in. So Gambler is out on the intermediates again. What's happened there? And that's Wiggs who spun.
End of the race.
Oh no, end of the race for him. Yeah, indeed.
And retired on track sector 1. No front wing for Wixie 5-6. Follows suit of Rusty Nish. And it's disaster race to forget for the 2 veterans of BRL at the last race of season 5.
Not a way to end the race, but looks like might as well call it early and enjoy the show that's about to ensue in the final 3 laps. So he might want to stay around for that. Gouts, meantime, still at the back of the grid, trying to catch up to the pack here. But I'm guessing the safety car will be in this lap. 3 laps are done, so we'll have lap 34, 35, and 36. 3 laps to race, and if it's anywhere close to be dry, I think we have DRS enabled at the end of lap 35. So 1 lap to make a difference. It may count at the end.
Lap number 33 is going to come to an end. I don't think safety car is going to go in.
No, it is.
As I say that, I've been proven wrong, rightfully. But KDB is going to jump 2 positions at the start. Will he jump 2 positions? He's got UK on his tail on older softs as well. And right after Big Man Joe, there's Streeter, Derp, Andre, Hyrox 24, all on softs themselves. And now Kuberabi is going to do the dutiful duty of the race leader at safety car restart and bunch them up, but he's off to a fantastic start. We got wheel to wheel right behind Baby Shumi on KDB on Baby Shumi, and he's made the pass. He's up at a P3 already. No, he's not. Baby Shumi comes back fighting down the inside for his podium position, and it's wheel to wheel as they continue, and they bump wheels as well, and it almost seemed like it was a Ferrari between them, but I believe that's the ghosted car. So let's not pay any heed to that. Horning's up in a P2. KDB holds on a P3.
Yeah, it looks like the conditions are just so closely matched that these intermediates and softs are equally on pace. But into the middle sector here, looks like the softs are coming in to grips already. Kuberabi trying to pull a little bit of a gap. Horning still pulls it back under braking. So it's still neck and neck between these 2 tire sides. KDB has got past Baby Shumi. UK is getting past him as well. And looks like the soft tires are the right tire to be on. Let's hope Horning proves that wrong, because he's trying to catch up to Kuberabi, but now he's being hunted down by KDB. KDB trying to make it, and Aston Martin 1-2, and Drunken Monkey has retired from the session. He's out in the infield section. He's not going to be taking part in the last 2 laps, but KDB down the pit straight. What can he do? He's so close to Horning. Horning is out of battery, and he is going to be overtaken into turn 1. Where does he go? Horning takes the inside. KDB tries to go around the outside, but no, the long straight is not long enough.
Brilliantly defended by Horning as well. He closed that gap real quick there at the end of the straight and held on to that position. KDB coming back down the inside, now alongside of him, and soon enough ahead of him perhaps. No, he had to concede. He had to hold back and he's going to stay P3 for that much longer. Unusual, I'd say, but I guess KDB's playing it safe. Horning losing traction, losing the rear of the car, and will have to make way for KDB perhaps, but he's not letting go, is he?
Yeah, and Horning's just parking the car at the right parts of the track to hold them off. The impatient KDB in UK and the rest of the soft gang are still right behind him. KDB tries to get a move this time around, and he's still trying his best. Oh, Boops! Horning at the back, and UK gets past him. And look at that, Andre takes the opportunity to get past him as well. And it's all kicking off into the final lap of this race. Andre gets pushed right there. Horning defending for his life for that P2. He wants that P2. Kibarabi in the meantime has pulled up a mammoth lead.
UK spun out. The pole sitter, he's out of the race on the penultimate lap. It went from opportunity to absolute disaster for the man who started on pole out here today.
Yeah, but look at that, Sarthak. The fight for P2 is still not over. Still not over. Andre now takes P2. Horning is finding the intermediates to be the wrong choice this time around. A lap too late for the intermediates to, stop working. But there you go. P2 looks like to be in the bags for now.
No way is that unraveled the way it did, but there's still opportunity for KDB. He can make this an Aston Martin 1-2. Perhaps all he has to do is jump positions between Derp and Andre as well. It's the last lap. He's still got hope though. We've got Kubarabi in sector 2, I presume. Yes.
Yeah, he's coming around the last corner here. He's probably going to take the win, but Andre, Derp and KDB, they will have DRS on Andre. Let's see if they can steal it away. But let's turn our attention very quickly to Kubarabi for the first time this season. Wow. Take a bow, man. P1. Get in there. Kubarabi wins the race.
What a race it's been for him as he takes the win of the Brazilian GP. Andre to follow suit. Derp to wrap up the podium. Streeter in P4 and KDB. You gotta feel for him, man. It almost seemed like he could have made it an Aston Martin 1-2, but he settles for 5th.
Yeah. What a last lap. What a last a couple of laps there, and the usual 5 laps kicks off at the end, and what a show these boys have put on today. What a way to end the season.
What a way indeed. What a race. I really hope the Spanish GP that's set to start in about 20 minutes or so is as fulfilling for a viewer as it was now. But time of the day for Dub. But let's be honest, Kubarabi outdid himself, man.
Yeah, well, Kubarabi may not have been given the drive of the day in the game, but guess what? Sarthak, he is the Roadrunner of the day. 60% of the votes going towards him, and congratulations to Kubarabi. Super sub, super Hulk, and he made it work. P1.
Absolute banger. And credit where credit is due. Andre started P2, finishes P2, held his composure. Brilliantly done. Derp on the podium, having started P17. So there too. Unfortunate for Envy being disqualified for ignoring yellow flags, and absolutely disastrous for UK. Having started this race in the race leading position, so close to a podium at the last lap as well, having spun out on the penalty. Having spun out and ending his race the way he did. Unfortunate for them.
Yeah, some things don't change, I guess. UK and its luck, the game and its desyncs and whatnot, and I think Envy will not be too sad about that disqualification. I mean, after all, he has wrapped up the drivers and constructors with his team, so perhaps that's just a meme to go down into the Ferrari camp for tonight. But yeah, Sarthak, what a race! What a season!
What a season! Yeah, what a season, Darwin. What the action, the battles between Kubarabi earlier on into the season as well, as my memory comes back to me, and even Envy versus Derp, and we had RB Ferrello in the mix, KDB starting out the season well, Big Man Joe coming back and winning races too. Absolute banger of a season. Season 5 has been absolutely brilliant. And I'm looking forward to doing this again. Season 6, perhaps, in the horizon, soon enough.
Yep, soon enough. And it's just just about a month away for F1 22 to be released. So if you are planning to get your hands on that, definitely consider that. And well, we might just be having a crazy season coming up in season 6, and whenever that is, we will be bringing you the news. In the meantime, if you're watching us as well, of course, leave a like, subscribe as well, join us for Bwoah Racing League season 6, and we will see you next season.
Yeah, until next season, and I'm gonna leave the stream, finish the stream with a joke coming in from KDP, who says it was going so good till the entire population of Earth showed up at the last lap. So yeah.
Yeah. That's one for the memes, I guess. Yep, but yeah, like you said, I think we'll leave it here, and we'll be back for some highlights, possibly, to show you the best, the funny moments, and the worst of the season. But till then, Sarthak, take care, man. And to the rest of the folks,